Bring in your rope and fold it evenly in half. This point up here where it's folded will be called our middle point. From the middle point, measure down 10 inches. So once you have that measured 10 inches, we're going to fold that middle point down and then place it so that it's in the middle of the two other cords. Okay, so here's my middle point in the center, and the other two cords are on either other side. So secure those 2 points up here to a board. And now we're going to tie a square knot around those 2 center cords. Okay, so once again, that middle point here is just right in the middle, and we're going to tie a square knot around those 2 cords. So to make a square knot, I'm going to take the side here on the left and cross it over the 2 cords in the middle to form a loop. Then the cord here on the left is going to cross over that right cord. I will send it behind the 2 in the middle and then pull it up through the loop on the right. Then we're going to pull it nice and tight. Now to finish our square knot, we're going to take the side on the left to go over the 2 cords in the middle to form a loop. The cord here on the right goes over the left, behind the 2 cords in the middle, and up through the loop. I'm going to pull that tight. So after you kind of pull your square knot tight, you can take up the pins that you have it secured to, and I want you to pull on the 2 middle cords to get rid of these 2 loops at the top. Okay, and you can kind of tighten your square knot again if needed. Secure that back to a cork board or a different tabletop surface if you can. And now we're going to tie one more full square knot. Now tie 1/2 of a square knot. So this is just going to be the right side of that square knot. Now we're going to change it up just slightly by finishing out our square knot around 1 cord in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to go around the right cord in the middle. So I'm going to take the left cord, cross it over the right cord in the middle to form my loop. Then the cord here on the right goes over that left cord, behind just the right middle cord, and then up through the loop on the left. Pull it tight. Okay, so again, I just went around that 1 cord. Okay, so go ahead and tie 1 full square knot around the 1 cord in the middle. Now tie a 1/2 square knot once again just around the 1 cord in the middle. Now when we finish out this square knot, we're going to go around both cords in the middle once again. Okay, so that left cord goes around both center cords. The right cord goes over the left, behind both your center cords, and then up through the loop. Pull it tight. Now I'm going to tie 1 more square knot around the 2 cords in the middle for added security. just want to flip my project around to show you what exactly we did. Okay, so once you turn it around, this is what the back side will look like. So you're going to have this string that hangs straight down, and I actually want you to slide a finger through it. Okay, you don't want it to be super, super tight. You want to have a little bit of a gap. Okay, and this is for at the end when we form our ribbon shape. We're actually going to take these middle cords and twist them through that loop. Okay, so that's why you don't want it to be super, super tight. So for now though, we are going to flip our project back around. I'm going to secure this down to my corkboard again. And now I'm going to continue tying some square knots around the 2 cords in the middle. Okay, so once you start nearing the end of those center cords, we're going to test out the length. So what I mean by this is we're going to just flip our project back around, and I'm going to fold it and send those middle cords through the loop we left here on the back side. Okay, so your goal here is you want what remains of that loop to be about the same length as this bottom section. So that very first section we did before we formed the loop. So it took me 11.5 square knots. So depending on the thickness and type of rope you use, you might need more or less square knots for your own project. Okay, so definitely test it out. You just want the ends to be even as can be. Once you have done that and you've pushed it through the center, so again, I just took my center cords here, twisted it around, pulled them through the middle loop there that we left on the back side, and now I have my 2 cords on either other side. I'm just going to continue tying square knots around what is left of the center cords. Okay, so I recommend securing your project down again to make this a little easier. And then we're just going to finish out our square knots. So since I finished on a half square knot over here on the left side, I'm just going to finish out that square knot by starting on the left side this time. Okay, and this first square knot might be a little tricky because we're not working with too much length in those center cords, so just kind of hold them out and adjust as needed. Be patient with yourself as you do this, and you will have no problem. Alright, so once you have finished out those square knots, this is what it's going to look like on the one side, and if you flip it over, this is what it will look like on the other side. Okay, so as you can see, it is the ribbon, awareness ribbon, and we are just going to deal with these remaining ends that are sticking out. So what I'm going to do is bring in a tapestry needle, and we're actually going to use this needle to help us thread these back cords underneath the square knots. Okay, so we're going to send them through the middle sections of our square knots here. Okay, so I'm just going to take some scissors and trim my ends so that they're a little shorter. Then I'm going to thread the rope onto my needle. So you're definitely going to need a needle with a big enough hole to fit your rope. Okay, I actually switched out my tapestry needle. My hole wasn't quite big enough. So anyway, we are just going to go up through 2 of these center sections. Okay? Once you're through, you're just going to gently pull the needle through and then pull your string through, just like that. Okay, and we're going to do the same with the other cord. And then once you pull those through, just take your scissors and trim off the ends. Okay? Now if you need it to be a little more secure, you can always go up through more square knots than just 2. And it is always a very good idea to add a little fabric glue or some hot glue here at the back just to make sure it stays secure, especially if you plan on selling these or if you're going to use this as a keychain and it might get a little more wear and tear. Okay, but otherwise, if you flip it over, this is the finished result. Okay? Now I just want to show you one little example of this one I did here. I left that bottom loop open so that I had a nice space to hang this from. Okay, so that is an option. So as you can see here, I went all the way down to that end so it was kind of flush with the ribbon, and here I left it exposed. Okay, and if you want to use this as a keychain and you don't want to make your loop down here, you can honestly just add a keychain right to the top, just slide it right on your ropes and it will be perfect. And before we go, I just want to let you all know that I recently released my new macrame guides. There's a lot of great information within these guides all about macrame, so please check those out in the link in the description below if you would like to learn more. So I hope you guys found this video helpful and inspiring, and thank you so much for watching.